Good evening, friends. Now we are going to deliver a lecture on corporate financial management. The topic of the day is Gordon's dividend model. In the Gordon's dividend model, as you are going to see the picture on the screen, if you're running a business and the earnings from the business have been reinvested in the business again, instead of distributing among the shareholders as a dividend, will make it grow. So dividend model of Gordon says this particular theory supports the doctrine that dividends are always irrelevant to the share price of a firm. This most popular mathematical model helps calculate the market value of company or the market value of share. Using its policy, it also states that the current dividends are important in determining the market value of share. Gordon's dividend basically is based on the three stages. Stage first is if the company is or the business is growing. Second is if the business is stable or the return on investment is equal to cost of capital, and third and last is the declining. I mean the internal rate of return from the business is less than the cost of capital. Gordon's model is basically based on the assumptions. The assumptions of Gordon's are all equity firm will be there. Means there will be no loans from the external financing is not allowed, and constant rate of return will be there, and cost of capital will also remain constant. The taxes will not be applicable in this model, and retention ratio will also be there. Okay. Next one is the formula of valuation of firms applying Gordon's dividend model. Is basically dividend model of Gordon is based on the formula that is earning per share multiplied by 1 minus retention ratio divided by cost of capital minus growth. Here growth means the retention ratio is to be multiplied with the internal rate of return. Now let's share an example of suppose the earning per share is 15 rupee and retention ratio B is 70% and cost of capital is 12%, growth is 10%. So the numerical makes you understand very clearly. If the retention ratio is 70% means the 30% will be the payout ratio, and the 15% is the earning per share. So earning per share, if the 15 rupee per share is the earning, so how we'll calculate the value of market value of share is to be calculated on the basis of by applying the formula which is given on the top of the screen. Okay, so all these three stages are here. If the income is growing, I mean the return internal return is greater than the cost of capital, so the value of share, the market value of share will be increased if the retention ratio is increased. Again, if the retention ratio is decreased, then definitely the value of market share value will be decreased. Second is the normal form, the same we have discussed in the Walters model. The calculation will be same, but the formula is to be applied accordingly. Next is the declining model, and so finally the assumptions of Gordon models will be, the assumption of Gordon models are same as well as the Walters model. So we can say with confidence the Gordon's model suffers from the same limitations as the Walters one. Because the Walters model have been suffered from the different kinds of criticism and assumptions, because it has no external financing, there is no taxes, and all things are like the things everything like constant return their cost of capital remains constant, and so next we are going to discuss the next video will make on the next chapter or the topic, that will be the Modigliani and Miller dividend model, and also we'll discuss in a very brief the traditional theory of dividend. Okay, thank you so much. Please